Und ja, okay. Cool.
Maybe you can turn the mic on now.
Hello, everyone. It's glad to see you all. I would like to introduce you to Ibrahim. We will listen to his lecture, The Imperialist Interest in the Sudan, People, Water, Land and Geography. This lecture will be about the strategic, economic and political importance of Sudan's waters, ports, natural resources, and its role as a migration route from the Horn of Africa. And Ibrahim is a Berlin-based social worker and writer. He's the co-founder of Sudan Uprising Germany and is active in border justice and anti-deportation movements. So.
Thank you.
So we will listen to your talk and see your presentation. It will be about roughly half an hour or a bit more, and then we will open up the audience for questions. And yeah, we will see whether we will take questions one-on-one, or if we gather some of the questions, then this lecture will close with a closing remark. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting us to talk about Sudan. And I would like to thank you all for being here. The presentation will be 30 minutes plus, and I hope it will not be long for you. I think I will do the presentation standing. So yeah, this is the graffiti picture from Sudan set in area during the protest time 2019 in front of the military headquarters. And so okay. So yeah, we'll talk about Sudan. So the word Sudan, the word Sudan comes from the Arabic phrase Bilad Sudan, which is literally mean land of the blacks. Also Aswad is the Aswad is the black in Arabic word, is the black color Aswad. So the Sudan is the land of the blacks, Bilad Sudan, and it used to be in the medieval and early modern Arabic geography. Bilad Sudan include Mali, other countries such as Niger, Chad, and Sudan. But when the British came, the British colonizer, the region, 19th century, they adopted the Arabic term Sudan for the area around the Nile south of Egypt, and the Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. So after independence, the country kept the name the Sudan, like the Gambia, the Netherlands, but now currently it's known as Sudan. I'm sorry, I'm bad with techniques. So yeah, this is the Sudan. If you see the map, yeah, Sudan is around 5 million people, occupied 1,680 square kilometers. Sudan, it used to be the biggest country in Africa before South Sudan split. It used to be like 1 million male. And yeah, if you see Sudan, the geographic of Sudan, geopolitics of Sudan, you see Sudan is surrounded by seven countries by the British borders, of course. 7 countries, which is Egypt, Libya, Chad, Central Africa, and South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and also the Red Sea as the natural border between Sudan and Saudi Arabia. It's like just 2 hours from Port Sudan to Mecca and Jeddah, Islamic port. So Sudan is very rich in the fauna and flora of Sudan. It's very rich in fertile land, the livestock, natural resource, and it have like a young workforce driving its potential. It wealth includes gold, silver, copper, uranium, natural gas, and many other minerals, making it a land of great opportunity and biodiversity. So this is another map for Sudan. This area, the red, like this triangle, and this area, this dispute land between Egypt and Ethiopia and Sudan. And this is the Nile. So the river Nile, I think it's quite well known. Well, this is the longest river, the Erda. So it's come from highland of Ethiopia, the Blue Nile, a bay, they call it a bay, running to Khartoum, north to the sea. And also coming from Uganda, what the British call it Lake Victoria, easy running until Alexandria. And here we have the Red Sea, a corridor. So it's in the eastern border of Sudan. It gives access to vital maritime road connecting Africa and the Middle East. As you see here, this is a very have like a very solid geostrategic position. The Red Sea from Sinai to the Bab el-Mandab. Sudan have almost 1,000 kilometers in the Red Sea. So it is very important. It's very important for what used to be like historically a colonial power and imperialism power, this fighting over to control the Red Sea. And even in the contemporary imperialism and capitalism, the Sudan for them, for the two powers, is who want to build the military base in the Red Sea, Sudan, the US or the Russian. So in between this, so it has a military strategy, economic potential. This is the Darfur region. Darfur region, during World War I, the British deposited the last Sultan Ali Dinar and incorporated Darfur into the Anglo-Egyptian Sudan under joint British-Egyptian administration. So that's 16 years later, the Darfur region became a part of British Sudan. And Darfur region is very big. It's 5 times bigger than French. It's a home of different communities, diverse communities, hundreds of languages. Also, the land is a source of gold and minerals, and it's plain and desert, and also we connected to Kordofan with the Arabic gum. So the Sudan is also famous of the Arabic gum, one of the main supplier of the Arabic gum. And here is this Darfur is still the conflict in Darfur since it started. Since long time, the people in Darfur are suffering because of the grazing roads and the land resources. This is not working. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, those are British. So the British, when they in Sudan, they adopted a politic closed district ordinance, closed zone policy. So they closed South Sudan from North Sudan. They have a closed zone policies, which is South Sudan Then South Sudan is Christian, more for missionaries. Closed. The northern Sudanese are not allowed to have like a normal trading between South Sudan and North Sudan, and yeah, and then they have like this Christian communities in Sudan. That in North Sudan, most of them are Muslim, so the fire attack will Friday is off in North Sudan, and Sunday is off in South Sudan, and so they. Since the British came, they embedded, they plant the seeds of separation of Sudan for conflict by what they so-called closed district. So this and also in Darfur, like uneven development. So what's so-called national government after the British colonization, they also fail to do like. To end this uneven development, because the legacy of the British, that we have a relatively developed north, like Khartoum cities and the cities in the north, and undeveloped countries in South Sudan or Darfur region, Kordofan and other, and in the East Sudan also. This led, so this is for the timeline. I wanted to tell that Sudan has spent 69 years of independence under military rule, with only 8 years of civilian democratic multi-party system. So Sudan, most of the time, was being governed by military. So if you look at the timeline, 1821, the Turk-Egyptian rule in Sudan. The main reason for Muhammad Ali Pasha, this Muhammad Ali of Egypt, the main reason was the gold and slave in Sudan, also slave for army, to arm Egypt of Muhammad Ali. And then came the Mahdist revolution. They overthrew the Turkey, the Sudanese called the Turk, this time the Turkey, overthrew the Turkey regime and established an independent Sudanese state. This state lasts just for 10 to 12 years, I think, and then the British colonial rule begins. The British came through Egyptian, and they stayed for 60 years. 1935, war in South Sudan erupts, even before the British, before the independence, and here Sudan get independence. Just 3 years after independence, the first coup d'etat happened in Sudan. And then we have the October Revolution, which is the first civil popular revolution, toppled the military regime, and yeah, they started like a democratic elected multi-party system, and then this lasted for 6 years, and then the second coup d'etat happened, this Jafar Nimeri coup, lasted for 16 years, and then the second popular uprising, and then again the third coup, this Bashir coup, this is the Bashir of Sudan, and he stayed like 30 years, and then he started the recent uprising. Maybe some of you were following the December Revolution, 2018, until now the war, the Khartoum, we can call it Khartoum war that shakes the Sudan. So this is roughly, this is the Bashir of Sudan. He came, al-Bashir, he came 1998. He was backed up by the Sudan Islamic Front, and he seized power in military coup, overthrowing, as I said, elected civilian government. Over 30 years, his rule displaced millions, forced thousands into exile, split Sudan for South Sudan, and oversaw genocide in Darfur region. So December Revolution. This Saura, this word mean, sorry, which is mean in Arabic revolution. It was bent in every single wall, inside inner streets and outside main street. This is our house in Umdurman 10 years ago. So, and just such a stencil like this was everywhere during December Revolution. This Bashir asking him to get out, to step down. well, you found it everywhere, in every kiosk, in every shop or a school or a mosque, you find this Bashir. People started to ask him to go down the military regime, down to Bashir regime. So in 19 December 2028, protest in the industrial city of Atbara, the city industrial is the headquarters of the railway headquarters in Sudan, in Atbara. They set fire on the headquarters of al-Bashir ruling party, NCP, as following the unrest reason of bread price. The food prices were high, the bread prices, and this is one ruling party. It's called National Congress Party. This is the Bashir party. And then, yeah, they set the fire there, and it's become like, you know, this Bastille prison, everyone going there. Since this day, the Bashir regime falls. It's finito. Yeah, and this was the slogan of Sudan Revolution. This picture is from Nuba Mountain in Sudan, Kadugli, city called Kadugli. This, she were posting this graffiti. It's very beautiful. Said, Hurriya, Salam, Adala, freedom, peace, and justice. 6 April. So the movement and the leader of the movement, they started to mobilize for a big million man march, or they started to mobilize like after 3 months of a day and night demonstration in Khartoum and other cities. So the leader of the movement started to mobilize for 6th of April 2019 in front of people to demonstrate in front of the military headquarters in Khartoum to pressure them to transfer the power to the civilian. This 6th of April also has a significance for the Sudanese people. It was also a date for when they throw a military dictatorship. Jafar Nimeri, that was 1885, I think. So this is the day of the, sorry for these pixels. So in the sunny noon of 6th of April, after 5 months of daily demonstration and strikes, and a lot of resistance acts against police brutality and state security apparatus, bloodshed and killings, the resistance managed to occupy the military headquarters. This is here, the military headquarters in Khartoum, with the support of massive millions of Sudanese people. They demand an immediate end to military rule and power transfer to civilians. This is the am gleichen Abend. So in the same 6th of April evening, it's almost most of all the city, like if you can imagine. And this was the main slogan of December Revolution. Just fall, like they need no negotiation with Bashir, just fall, تسقط بس. And then down to military regime, even the military junta, when they start, there was like only one slogan, that's down to military regime. And as I said, freedom, peace, and justice, and civilian rule. Civilian rules, it's مدنية in Arabic, we say. حكم مدني يعني. And this is the military to Barkas and the Janjaweed disband. العسكر للسكنات والجنجويد يتحل. This is the revolution, the people's slogans. There is no militia that rules a country. That was from inside the people, their demands. So in April 2019, the military council, the military junta, forced al-Bashir to step down and imprison him, promising a military-led transition. But the revolutionary forces rejected this plan, demand full civilian control. So this is Medaniya, in Arabic calligraphy. This is Khartoum University wall in the Nile Street. And it's become very important slogan in the Sudan uprising. Yeah, this is a worker that is coming from the city where everything started, Atbara city. And this train is coming from North Sudan, Adbara to Khartoum to support the people in the sitting. And the workers, railway workers in Adbara, posting this picture in their social media saying, we are coming to Khartoum to support the sit-in. And this is workers' morale. It's still there in Khartoum. I hope it's been made in the sit-in days from the people. Yeah. Sorry. So the military council, the military junta, had understood that the Sudan revolution is very powerful. It's even threatened fundamental change for the ruling class. And they understood that the only way is to terrorize the movement. So they unleashed a militia. It's called a Janjaweed militia. The militia made of the most backward element in our society. So they rampage into the protester area, killing, looting, raping, and even they dump the body of the protester in their Nile. 3rd of June. And then the military junta, they put Sudan under complete media blackout. This is not working again, Habibi. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, the military junta put, in order to stop the masses from communication, they put the whole Sudan under media blackout nationwide to suppress public anger and prevent mass demonstration. But the people from the resistance, they started to use the old method for mobilizing for a million march in 3rd June. 13 Junio 2019, they're writing in the walls, sending like normal text, all text messages. Word mouth people moving at night in the cities, in the small cities, mobilizing for the demo. Yeah, this is in spite of after a month of mobilization, after this massacre, the people managed to gather again in the same day, and asking the military council to go out and to hold them accountable and to transfer the power to the civilian, to the revolution path. So while the Sudanese people were under internet blackout, media blackout, under terror of military roaming in their cities around their homes, this guy, this is an international figure, his name is Abdullah Hamdok. He formed a civilian-led transitional government formed through an agreement between the forces of freedom and change. This aligned somehow with the Sudan revolution and the military junta. By the arrangement, General Al-Burhan, which is de facto president of Sudan now, became the head of the Suffragine Council, and General Hemeti, his deputy. And Dr. Abdullah Hamdok, this is the miracle guy, was appointed head of the transitional government. So this deal was happening in Berlin and in other cities with against the Sudanese people will. So they restore a new partnership between those people and the military junta. This is Burhan, and the guy is Hemeti from RSF. So chat was celebrating signing the document of transitional government, so what's so-called civilian-led. The people from the resistance committees, they accept, I can say they accept the government. They say, okay, we can accept this government, but we still have the demand of the justice to our matters, demanding like a new Sudan to adopt the Declaration of Freedom and Change. So this was this on the Nile Street, University of Khartoum, near the sit-in, where the martyrs fell. The resistance committees carried this city's largest memorial, mural. It has since become a central gathering place for the revolution in Khartoum. So the people, they start to gather in front of this mural, asking for the rights. This is also a graffiti from one of the Sudanese youth martyrs. His name is Abdel Salam Kisha. This is his house. Okay, in 2 years, on 25th October, the Sudanese military junta led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the RSF leader, the guy with the mask, Hamdan Dagalo, seized control of Sudan in a bloody military coup. In 1 day, they killed 100 protesters. In 1 day, 100 civilians. So since the dawn of the coup, resistance erupted across Sudan, with people taken to the street to reject military rule. Neighborhood resistance committees led the charge, organizing protests and mobilizing communities nationwide. So there was like a very strong resistance to the military coup. This using the same tactic. This is Burhan. They asked him to step down, to move, Irhal. But again, under the pressure of the mass street protest led by resistance committees, Burhan released Dr. Abdullah Hamdok, and an agreement was reached for him to retain as the head of the internal government. So to a new partnership, but this was totally rejected by the resistance committees, this Burhan Hamdok. So the resistance committees, they raised this la sharaka, la tafawud, la shar'iyya. So no negotiation, no partnership, no legitimacy with the military. Known in the context of Sudanese uprising as 3 no's. This slogan also holds historical significance. It originated at the Arab League conference in Khartoum after the June setback. No peace, no recognition, no negotiation with Israel. So in the Sudanese context, this 3 no's, it came after like a conference, Arab League conference in Khartoum. Known in the Arabic, if he has Arabic speaker, La'at Salasa, it's 3 no's. With no negotiation, no partnership, no legitimacy. So today, the resistance committees against the Burhan Hemeti military rule recall this slogan as a symbol of solid resistance. La sharaka, la tafawud. This is some picture. Ahmed sent it to me from Khartoum. There's like rejecting any negotiation with the military coup. Just saying, ما في militia بتحكم دولة. They mean the RSF, this Janjaweed militia. They cannot control or they cannot lead Sudan. Sorry, I know it's long presentation, but Sudan is long story. So after this, after the coup, and after all this negotiation in the Sudanese political class, and the UN had a special mission to Sudan. They call it UNITAMIS, with a German guy who was the president of this mission. His name is Volker, and they were trying to rebuild the partnership between the military and the Sudanese resistance committees. But they failed to rule the country. They failed to govern it. But there's like demonstration, like central demonstration. Every week, a big demonstration, weekly going to the residential palace. And it was closed. There's no, the resistance committees, they completely reject the military, but the international committee, the UNITAMIS, the Volker guy, they come out with something they call it Ittifaq Itari, the framework agreement to restore the military-civilian partnership. This framework agreement, part of it is to integrate the militia, the paramilitary militia, RSF, in the national army. So in Ramadan, 15 April, Saturday, the war broke out between Khartoum, RSF militia, in Khartoum, between RSF militia and the national army. Yeah, by failed integration, civil resistance, and international meddling. So this is Suwar from the same Saturday. This is the airport road in Khartoum. This is where the bomb started, early morning. Who is funding the war in Sudan? This is الإمارات العربية المتحدة, EUA. This is this the guy of the Manchester City. His name is Mansour bin Zayed, the owner of the Manchester City football team. The Emirat. They have clearly not even sub-regional imperial project. They have directly imperial project in Africa from the Sahel until the Red Sea. So the RSF they turned RSF. They started when the Bashir founded RSF and legitimized with the Europeans to work as a border guards. And then the Emiratis started to use the RSF troops as machinery in the Yemen war. So they turned the RSF into the Emirati troops. They are their troops. So who's funding the war in Sudan? EUE, and it's proxy funding the RSF. The conflict also involved regional international actors, including the United Arab Emirates, their allies such as the Libyan National Army, this Haftar, and the Emirat, the Mohammed bin Zayed main political theory, that he's fighting the Islamists in the region. So Haftar is also fighting the Islamists in Libya, and Hemeti is fighting the Islamist in Sudan. And all of this military is funded by Emirati money. Chad is completely under the control of bin Zayed. Central Africa Republic, and also Wagner Group was involved and still involved in Sudan. Yeah, as I said, they become like this monster through Yemen war. And also the EU, the Janjaweed militia was before as I said, as you know, Bashir found this militia as a paramilitary militia to fight the rebels in Darfur, the rebels against him. And then the European Union under Merkel time, they found something they call it Khartoum process to combat the human trafficking. It's Horn of Africa, initiative from Horn of Africa, and then they legitimize this militia. They recall it the new name. They recall it Rapid Support Forces to work as external guard in the Sahara in Sudan. So they've been funded by €1 million to this militia for the Horn of Africa migration route initiatives. Yeah, I said they were using them as hardline force to stop migrants from Horn of Africa from crossing the Sahara to the Mediterranean. There is some reference if you want to, as European, if you want to see where is your money going, you can check. So yeah, they text me yesterday that actually I made this presentation, small presentation, just to talk about the British and the colonial and contemporary colonial, but they asked, they were saying, most people, maybe they want to know what is happening now in El-Fashir city, why everyone is talking about Sudan now suddenly. So this city in Sudan, in Darfur, like very hysterical, it have very hysterical importance in Sudan. It's we call it Al-Fashir Sultan. As I said, it's scared the British, they compounded to Sudan 16 years later after they came. And it was Sultana, so we had the Sultanate Darfur, and for the people of Sudan, they were using to send الكعب كسوة بتاعتك. شنو كسوة يا أحمد؟ اسمها شنو؟ Kiswa, they sent from Fashir, they sent the Kaaba in Mecca, so they sent the Kiswa early from Fashir. They made it here, this black cover in Mecca, and it's also have an access to Chad, to Central Africa, have an directly access to the North Sudan, and the triangle in Libya. It's a very important city, like it have a historical, and why it is matter, because the strategic location of Al-Fashir. Al-Fashir is important because it lies in Darfur region, bordering Chad, as I said, Libya, Central Africa. Can you imagine control of the city affects wide region dynamics? And also, because of the war and the Bashir wars in Darfur region, Al-Fashir become as a humanitarian hub of a vocal IDBs camp, like thousands of Darfurian depending in Al-Fashir city as a hub of aid. It's like such camps like Zamzam. So it's now it is de facto focal point for humanitarian concern. And yeah, it's a major city in Darfur. Who will control Al-Fashir, who will have a very strong symbolic in this war. And Al-Fashir was being sieged for more than 500 years. Days. It sounds like years, right? And the people of Al-Fashir were like crying. They completely under bombardment, no food allowed. They started this call for example, like trying, the people like literally they start to eat cow skins. They cook the cow skins. No way. They've been the RSF troops from different fronts. They closed the area. So 500 days, like more than 1 year and a half under the siege. Starvation, bombardment, UN Security Council calls ignored. The UN Security Council called like more than 6 times asking the RSF and the RSF, they don't care about the UN Security Council, it's finito. So SAF, which is the Sudanese army, withdrawal 5 days ago, and the city falls under RSF control. What's happened? Mass killing, war crimes, ethnic targeting reported. So genocide. What's happened? Because the people, the militia are killing the people, targeting kids, children, they're killing them ethnically. The Zagawa tribe under their hand. So it's a genocide. So the war continues. The humanitarian catastrophe continues. Capitalist, expansionist, and imperialist ambition increase. And it's become a global proxy war in which neither Sudanese nor the forces of the free people have any interest. Thank you very much for hearing.
Thank you so much for your input. I would like to open the audience now for about a bit more than 10 minutes for questions, comments, anything else that you would like to share. Please raise your hand if you would like to contribute. And then a person with a mic will pass the mic to you. There is a person in the orange shirt at the back. Yeah, at the very back.
Thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
What is Wagner Group? That's my question.
Wagner Group is a Russian police, private, something with Russian, I don't know more than this. They're like machinery. They're working in Africa. You can rent them. If you have money, you can rent Wagner Group to kill people for you, or to occupy a gold reservoir.
Wow.
Like Russian, it's a Russian police, Russian private company, warlords.
Hi, thank you very much for the presentation. My question is, what happened to the resistance committees that were involved in the revolution? Do they still exist? Yeah, so what's the say?
It's very interesting. Is Ahmed here, our comrade Ahmed, is here. He will be talking, he have a workshop in 2 hours, I think, talking about especially what were the resistance committee, what was the response of the resistance committee after the war erupted in Sudan, as their response to the crisis and the role of them in supporting people, or like opening corridors, or transporting the people from the war zone, or like organizing a mutual aid for the people. So this workshop will be here also in 2 hours. We can talk more about this in deep about the resistance committees.
Thank you very much. My question is a bit regarding the strategies that we can use here to support the people in Sudan. Are there like any calls of like what strategies should we employ here to meaningfully support the resistance in Sudan? Because like, I mean, there are a lot of demonstrations and then, you know, calls for support, calls for free Sudan, but sometimes it's a bit difficult to know what like people in Sudan would like us to employ as strategies to meaningfully support.
Can I collect another question?
يعطيك العافية. Thank you so much for the presentation. So why did the National Army withdraw from al-Fasher? Is it because of like the siege was really terrible and they lost?
Just then collect question to save some time.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you could speak a little bit more in specific about the land grab and the resources grab that is ongoing right now, like, you know, a bit more in detail. I also wanted to say very shortly, like, Wagner forces are not police, but a private military company. And they're also active in Belarus and involved in many other places. I mean, police is not very different from a private military company, but, but still. And a tiny little comment, the map with the Red Sea, it has a very serious mistake, Yazol. في دولة خارة دولة إسرائيل موجودة.
Sorry, maybe just get it off from online.
Yeah, بدك انتبه.
مكتوب إسرائيل.
مكتوب إسرائيل.
شكرا. So, Mahmoud. So I will start with I don't know what's why I'm not a military expert, but I mean, of course the SAF, they've been invited to Washington 10 days before the Fashir. They were like almost in the city, and the military, the headquarters, al-Firqa is very high. It's not easy to reach this Firqa. And they were like there. The RSF were trying to do whatever they can do, but they couldn't reach al-Fashir. And then the Washington called the Sudan to come for negotiation for Trump peace plan. They have like 4 quarters machinery. They call it a Rubaiya this colonial peace project. And this is what I think. I don't know if it's like this or not. I think part of this plan. So the SAF, they were in Washington meeting with the CIAs, and then after 2 days, they withdrew suddenly. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, regarding this, this question has been all the time asked when we talk about Sudan, what we can do. I mean, this is, of course we need support. Of course we need support. We need to organize. We need to talk about Sudan. We need the people to support the free people of the world, to support the Sudanese struggle. Because the Sudanese people been suffering since long time, and then being neglected for many reasons. But I don't know, really. I don't know how to tell the people. I don't like how to tell the people how to organize yourself for Sudan, because the people before, for example, if we took Gaza as a Gaza campaign in Berlin, that like many people they found their way under even we all know how bad was the German authorities and the government against the Palestinian protesters and supporters. So you have here a little bit of space to move more freely and to do some action. Yeah, but I don't know exactly what, I can't tell you what to do. And also like many fundraisings happening for Fashir, because when this city attack happened, they opened like a humanitarian road. The people moved to this near safest place called Tawila, and it's like a catastrophe, like humanitarian catastrophe there. And I see every day like people here from Berlin and other cities, Sudanese, non-Sudanese, internationalists organizing for the people of Tawila, organizing humanitarian aid. But we need to put some pressure in the government, in the German government. The German government, I was reading their comments about Sudan. They've been shocked. They're shocked with what happened in Al-Fashir, and that they don't care. They just care about the city look, and this debate of migrants, this racist debate happening in the German. But we need to put some pressure on them. Also, the European Union, they started to criminalize the Sudanese refugees in border Europe. So we have, for example, now in Greece, prisons, more than 20 Sudanese boys in the prisons, accusing of as smugglers, accusing them of driving boats or accusing GPS or giving water in the boat. In Libya, from Libya, in Italy, in Spain, in Belarus, Poland border. That those Sudanese people, they should be, Sudanese refugees should be accepted, not being criminalized. So we can put many fronts we have to work on it. Yani. This is the border justice. So, but, yeah, to pressure the authorities here. Yeah.
There is another question here.
Hi, thank you very much for the talk. I have a general question. Do you have a book or any resources that you suggest to, let's say, start or that are more giving a good overall view of what is happening? And also, do you have any names for independent journalists that are now there and reporting from there?
There's another question. Yeah.
Thank you, Ibrahim, really for the presentations, covering a lot historically as well. I think you have mentioned United Arab Emirates, and it's an important thing about Sudanese war, the expulsion of Gulf capitalism project, which is a project that enabled by international consumption of nature. The oil countries like Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates are, with their accumulation of capital through sending around oil in the world and gas, have produced a local imperialist project that led to destruction of Yemen and also led to destruction of Libya by supporting and aiding militant group like the Rapid Support Forces. The Rapid Support Forces and the Wagner Group are not different, are a militia, contain mercenaries and ethnic groups. Bashir used it to rent it to the Gulf countries in order to destroy other countries, and now is rented inside Sudan to destroy Sudan and its sovereignty. What we could do, we need to understand that United Arab Emirates is a strategic security and political partners in the region for the West. The gold that's smuggled from Sudan and the mineral that's smuggled from Sudan, they ended up in Austria, in Switzerland, in different kind of countries. Many researchers of you, students of you, activists, they could observe this line of extractivism and attack or challenge those structures or those market structures that enable the ongoing killing in Sudan and the war machineries. It's also important to understand that Sudanese, they are not producing guns. Historically, Sudan is being the victim of imperialism. First, Sudanese army is created as a defender of the British interest. The military-industrial complex in Sudan in the 70s is created by Western Germany, and the first military airport in Sudan is created by Western Germany in order to support Sudan in the Cold War to defeat communists. And the Rapid Support Forces, later on, is being aided in order to compact migrations. So we need to understand it's a complex structures. It's not far away of what happened in Gaza. It led to the exterminations of people and killing of people through a machinery of expulsion capitalism. We need to observe those lines, and we need to uncover them in the Western politics.
Thank you. There's another question at the very back.
Thank you very much for your presentation. The one graffiti on the wall with no cooperation and so on and so forth, it reminded me of the BDS claims, and I was wondering of whether in the context of Sudan there's also discussion on boycott projects and how they could be implemented within the resistance. I hear myself double.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Can you come again?
Do you have, like, is there a discussion on boycott projects or boycott as a form of resistance in the Sudanese context?
To boycott the warlords, you mean, or the people, or the power who was
And the UAE?
House fund. Yeah. I see a lot of people are calling for boycotting UAE, that fly Emirates or like Dubai product. Or, I don't know. Yes, this is happening. People start to call. The thing is this: we need to put international pressure on those Arab sheikhs and to stop their hand, to stop funding the war in Sudan, not to send money, not to send weapons. This has been evidence. This is everywhere. It's documented. They built an airport in Matar. They call it Jaras, and they rebuilt Niala Airport in Sudan to support the atrocity in Sudan. So we need to have like an international campaign to put pressure on the Arab Emirat to stop funding the war in Sudan. So everything is mashrou, yani. It's resistance, form of resisting the. So yeah, thank you for your question. I just want to say something about land grabbing. It's in Sudan. This is also one of the main socialist struggles, the land. Therefore, they have, in this land system, they have this hawakir, this hakura, and this ethnic cleansing and genocide is happening. Therefore, not this one, is the recent Jinena or Al-Fashir, even during the Bashir time, literally, basically, the people, those Arab tribes taking the others' lands, they're grabbing their lands, and it's also connected to the military dictatorship of Bashir, where like monopolying the farms in the North Sudan, land grab and make a long-term contract with the Gulf countries like Saudi money, for example, or Emiratis themselves. They have 100 years fair track for investing the land, or they sell to our flowers to sell it in Europe. There some feeds, and it's also in this land grabbing is being formulated by the resistance committees of Sudan. They have the charter, revolutionary charters to establish people power, and then there is a chapter about the land grabbing in Sudan. So, yeah.
Okay. If there are no more questions, there is one more question. Okay, let's take you.
Like 2, 3.
2, 3.
We have 3.
Okay, where is the third?
Thank you, Ibrahim, for the presentation. It's not a question, just an information for someone asked about outlets and media and journalists in the ground. There is a lot of local journalists who produce reporting from the country, so we don't wait for like a Western journalist to go to Sudan and to expose everything. So we have Yusra al-Baghir, who's a Sudanese journalist who's reporting for Sky News. We have an independent platform called Ain Sudan. It's not like the 3AIN Sudan. We have also Beam Reports, reporting all the time from Sudan. And as well as from Egypt, we have Mada Masr, is an independent platform that have a weekly bulletin in Sudan, and all the reports are coming from local sources within the country. So there is a lot of resources available outside there. The lack of coverage from the mainstream media is not an excuse for us to not to know what is happening.
Thank you so much for the resources, comrade. I would like to give you the chance to make some closing remarks, but before that I would like to make some announcement. After that we will have the lunch break. The lunch is being served by Food for Palestine. The money goes to Gaza. And if you want to learn more, about Sudan and the resistance. We will have a workshop later on resistance, resilience, and reorganizing. It will happen at 3:45 in the workshop room. If if it's too crowded, we will, I guess, find a bigger room. And then also to your right, there is the terrace. You can enter the terrace through outside to the right or from downstairs through the stairs, just to let you know, because I feel like people don't chill there. So, yeah. And thank you, Ibrahim. You have some closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. And yeah, I mean, the Sudan has been, Sudan now is in, I see Sudan now in the center of the international struggle. They made Sudan, the people of, they made it, they intervened. So Sudan question, you cannot look over Sudan questions. This is, we have to put the Sudan question in front of our daily resistance. The Sudan question is also connected to Palestinian, connected to the Israel. The Emiratis, they are the hand of the West, as Ahmed said. They are supporting this not just this militia. They are supporting to implementation the Zionist politics in the region. So it's all connected, and soon you will see how the Western power, as Zizek said, the heroes of our time, how the American will be running to support the new, what's they call it, Ta'sis government, the establishment of Sudan. It's the new split in Sudan, and for them, like this is the model of Hameti. Also, could be like very attractive to Donald Trump and the American administration. So the question of Sudan, I see it as a question of freedom, of struggle, of social justice. Thank you very much, and see you maybe later in the workshop.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the festival.